Welcome, I'm Tatiana Darzi. Jimmy Lai, a Hong Kong entrepreneur and media tycoon, continues taking a stance against the CCP regime. He expressed his support of the U.S. sanctioning the CCP officials and firms. He also believed that the U.S. has supported Hong Kong strongly. Other countries will do so too.
Lai Chi-ying, known professionally as Jimmy Lai, is a Hong Kong entrepreneur. He has spoken out against the CCP's Hong Kong version of national security law and expressed that he will stay in Hong Kong to boycott the CCP and support U.S. sanctions against the CCP. He founded Giordano, an Asian clothing retailer, and Next Digital, a Hong Kong-listed media company, and a Chinese-language media group. He is one of the main contributors to the pro-democracy camp, and as a result, he is a target of suppression from the Chinese Communist Party. On May 29, Jimmy Lai expressed his thoughts to Reuters.
We knew that sooner or later something like this would happen if China did not continue to open up. But after Xi Jinping's ascendance, I think the hope was gone. The hope was dashed.
On April 18, Jimmy Lai was arrested by Hong Kong police for attending protests of the extradition bill last year. Regarded by the outside world as a form of political suppression, Jimmy Lai indicated that although the hope is gone, he is still willing to stay in Hong Kong and fight against the CCP.
I'm 72 years old. If I can sacrifice for Hong Kong, I will do so. This is my home. What I have, this place gave me. I will fight on to the last day. It will be honor if I become a sacrifice.
On May 28th, Jimmy Lai and Martin Lee Chu-ming, a renowned barrister in Hong Kong, protested peacefully by sitting at the Civic Square. On May 29th, Jimmy Lai tweeted to publicly expose that the CCP's Ministry of Public Security has directly guided the Hong Kong police state.
Whatever it is, we will keep on. We will persist. I will persist.
Jimmy Lai also expressed his support of the U.S. sanctioning the CCP.
In campaigning for re-election, using sanctions or punishments in stages accepted against China. Or I think if the Americans support us very strongly, the other countries will follow through.
President Donald Trump and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson criticized the CCP's plan to impose national security law, said it would undermine Hong Kong's one country, two systems framework. As a result, the UK will extend visa rights for Hong Kong British national overseas passport holders. Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the EU have been critical of the new law and expressed concerns about it.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and US President Donald Trump both indicated on May 29 that the Chinese regime is eroding Hong Kong's autonomy by imposing a so-called national security law on the city. In addition, the United Kingdom announced it will extend visa rights for Hong Kong British national overseas passport holders. On May 29, the UK government published a press release after Johnson spoke with Trump. The announcement said, "The leaders said that China's plan to impose national security legislation on Hong Kong goes against their obligations under the Sino-British Joint Declaration and would undermine Hong Kong's autonomy in the one country, two systems framework." Moreover, the UK will extend visa rights for as many as 300,000 Hong Kong British national overseas passport holders if China continues to impose repressive security laws on the former British colony. The Guardian reported on May 28th. The UK would extend the BNO passport holders' current right to visit for 6 months without a visa to an extendable 12 months, leading to a pathway for future citizenship. Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said, "It is estimated that about 2.9 million people can apply for BNO passports in Hong Kong, and 350,000 Hong Kong people currently hold such passports." The UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab explained, in relation to BNO passport holders, currently they only have the right to come to the UK for 6 months. If China continues down this path and implements this national security legislation, we will change that status. And we will remove that 6-month limit and allow those B&O passport holders to come to the UK and to apply to work and study for extendable periods of 12 months, and that will itself provide a pathway to future citizenship. In the phone call, Johnson and Trump also discussed the importance of leaders meeting in the United States for the G7 summit, which will be held at the end of June. Both leaders also mentioned the issue of telecommunications security. According to the Sunday Times, Britain is seeking to forge an alliance of 10 democracies to create alternative suppliers of 5G equipment and other technologies to avoid relying on China. The government has approached Washington about a D10 club of democratic partners based on the G7 plus Australia, South Korea, and India. Other countries such as Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the EU have expressed their concerns and criticized Beijing's security law for Hong Kong.
President Tsai Ing-wen of Taiwan condemned China's decision to pass national security law. Tsai announced that she and the Premier of Taiwan have agreed on taking action to facilitate residency rights settlement and social assistance to the people of Hong Kong arriving in Taiwan.
In response to the National Security Act crisis in Hong Kong, the President of Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, announced last Wednesday that the Taiwan Executive Yuan will form an ad hoc group. President Tsai Ing-wen took the initiative to speak out against the CCP's push for the Hong Kong version of the national security law, and at the same time, announced that a consensus had been reached with the Premier of Taiwan to form an ad hoc group. The Mainland Affairs Council will propose specific mechanisms to provide assistance to Hong Kong residents, including those residing in Taiwan.
The Chinese Communist Party needs to stop before it's too late and should not break the promise of Hong Kong people ruling Hong Kong for 50 years. We will provide the necessary assistance the Hong Kong people need so that they can come live and work in Taiwan. We also hope that the Mainland Affairs Council will propose their plan in the shortest amount of time and explain it to the people.
Regarding doubts that Taiwan will not lower the immigration threshold for the people of Hong Kong, and the question of whether it is still necessary to amend the refugee law, President Tsai explained that the existing immigration restrictions for the people of Hong Kong are relatively lenient. She reaffirmed Taiwan's support for the people of Hong Kong in the pursuit of freedom and democracy.
Regardless of whether there will be any adjustment to this regulation in the future, I would like to make it clear to everyone. One thing is certain, that is, our hearts and determination to take care of the people of Hong Kong will never change.
Over concerns that after gaining control over Hong Kong, the Chinese Communist Party may resort to using force against Taiwan, President Tsai Ing-wen said that the current situation does require a high degree of attention, and she will ask the relevant ministries to step up their efforts and forecasting of the situation.
American businesses in Hong Kong are living under uncertainty and suffering ever since the CCP imposed the national security law on Hong Kong, and also as the U.S. decouples from China. Upon China's implementation of the new law, President Trump announced his decision on revoking special treatment for Hong Kong.
After the Chinese regime adopted a national security law for Hong Kong, U.S. President Donald Trump announced the removal of special treatments for Hong Kong. In response to the move, the American Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong expressed concern that many American businesses in the city could suffer.
Many of us have lived and worked in Hong Kong for years. We love Hong Kong. We care very much about the Hong Kong people, but we feel like we are collateral damage. On the other hand, the U.S.-China relationship has reached a very difficult point, and that's something we have to be realistic about.
Trump expressed that Beijing's push for imposing a security law breaches Hong Kong's high degree of autonomy, and thus the city would no longer enjoy the special treatments given by the United States. Critics say the security law endangers Hong Kong's status as a global financial hub. Joseph said the current situation is not completely unexpected, and the American businesses in Hong Kong are still waiting for more details, as no timeline was given.
Hong Kong is a vibrant city that has been very good to American business.
She indicated that the U.S. decoupling from China is still a work in progress and many things are going to happen. The American businesses in Hong Kong are in a very difficult situation. More than 1,300 American businesses have offices in Hong Kong, providing more than 100,000 jobs in total, according to Reuters.
A laundry worker servicing the Public Security Bureau in Shulan City, located in northeast of China, was infected with the CCP virus. She came into contact with several people, including the Bureau's police and their families. As a result, the workforce of the Bureau is paralyzed and the entire city has been locked down.
Shulan City, located in China's northeastern region, has locked down since the first confirmed case of the CCP virus infection was identified. At least 34 cases have since been identified in Jilin province. All reportedly confirmed cases in Shulan are linked to a 45-year-old laundry worker for the Public Security Bureau in Shulan. A local resident of Shulan revealed that a local hospital has been designated for accepting patients with the CCP virus infection.
The entire city is locked down. No one is allowed to enter or leave. The local residential complexes are also locked down. The city mandated testing for anyone who has to come into contact with the laundry worker and her family. I believe the leaders in Shulan have contracted the virus. The city party chief has been dismissed. The deputy party chief has possibly been dismissed already. The mayor might be the next to be fired. I think they're all going to be gone, including the head of the Public Security Bureau. Vice Premier Sun Chunlan came to Shulan in the evening after she visited Heilongjiang and then went to Jilin City. Shulan's Public Security Bureau has been paralyzed. It is said that police have been deployed from the province to Shulan. Shulan's local police have nearly all been idled. Shulan is now the second Wuhan. The vice premier came for a short inspection. Who would stay in the epicenter? Sun Chunlan had stayed there for only 2 months. The Shulan Mining Bureau General Hospital has been converted to a makeshift hospital. It was said that new medical machines were ordered a few days ago. I think the equipment has arrived.
The interview was conducted by Luo Ya from the Chinese language Epoch Times.
Jan Jekielek, the host of American Thought Leaders, interviews Hong Kong lawyer and Legislative Council member Alvin Yeung, who is also the current leader of Hong Kong's pro-democracy Civic Party. He goes over how the Chinese regime bypassed Hong Kong's legislature in order to implement the national security law. He also has a message for the international community.
So, Alvin, one thing that we realized, there is some kind of process where the national security law could be implemented bypassing the legislature entirely. Is that right?
That is exactly what Beijing is doing. Of course, I do not agree with that. That is completely to the contrary of the spirit of the Basic Law and, in fact, to the articles of the Basic Law. And so when it comes to this national security law that is completely new to this practice, they not only bypassed the normal procedures, they bypassed Hong Kong people, they bypassed the local legislature. That is to say, people like me, we have no rights to scrutinize the bill. We have no rights to understand what's behind the bill. And officials from the government would not have the obligation or responsibility coming to LegCo and explain the details of the law, just like any other laws. And so this is extremely exceptional. And in fact, I would say this is a contrary to the regulations or the rules as set so clearly in the Basic Law. Hong Kong people we have been fighting so hard since last June, and I'm sure a lot of us are extremely grateful to the fact that a lot of friends around the world are paying attention to us, so that we understand we are not alone in fighting this fight. We expect that in the days to come, when Hong Kong is under challenge again, when Hong Kong is facing these gigantic communist China imposing this evil law on us, we wish the rest of the world would stand with Hong Kong and speak up for us. Not only because a lot of countries have your strong interest in Hong Kong, strong investment in Hong Kong, not only there are lots of expats from different countries living in Hong Kong and even calling it home, but also the fact that Hong Kong has been a member of the free world for so long. And a lot of us here in Hong Kong share the same values that a lot of friends around the world are sharing and enjoying, in fact. When we are fighting this fight, I'm sure a lot of friends around the world can really sense that this is a fight that we are fighting together. And so I wish in the days to come, the rest of the world will stand with us, can speak up for us, so that we know Hong Kong is not an island.
To watch the entire video on American thought leaders, please visit the link below. The following charts show you the most recent numbers regarding the CCP virus pandemic. The Chinese Communist Party's cover-up led to a pandemic that now threatens the lives of people around the globe. With over 6.3 million people infected, China is still defensive about independent international inquiry into the origin and spread of the CCP virus. The Epoch Times has initiated a global Sign the Petition campaign calling for investigating, condemning, and rejecting the CCP. We believe that investigating and exposing the truth is the only way that we can remain safe. Let's take action. Sign the petition at ccpvirustruth.com. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this program with friends and family to keep them informed about the latest news and updates. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.